To you by Carl's Jr. Introducing the Orange Sickle Shake, made with real hand-scooped ice cream, only at Carl's Jr. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It's in the MLB. Is it in you? And brought to you by Halloween in theaters everywhere, Friday, August 31st. Over 88,000 have seen the first two games of this series at the Big A between the Yankees and the Angels. Tonight, another packed house as the Angels go for the sweep. And tonight's game is presented in eye-shattering high definition. Well, the Yanks are the top offensive team in baseball, but they have been outscored 25-15 in the first two games of this series. So Joe Torre will move his lineup around. The batting order has Damon, Jeter, Abreu, and then A-Rod, who's done his job. 3 home runs in this series, and 58 of his 506 home runs have been against the Angels. Matsui, Posada, Cano, Betemit, and Cabrera round out that Yankee 9. On the mound for the Angels will be the big right-hander John Lackey. He's coming off one of his worst games of the year, where he's knocked around. 7 runs were scored against John by the Boston Red Sox.
You know what, though? He had a sense of humor after the game. He said, my pitches were hit hard. My good ones, my bad ones were even hit harder. The big John Lackey, he knows that that one's over in the past. He's got to be able to command the fastball in the outer half against the Bombers, pitch inside, knock him off the plate. His focus has to be pitch to pitch in this final series, final game.
And over the last decade, one of the top leadoff men in the game has been Johnny Damon. With the Red Sox, now with the Yankees, his batting average this year just .260. But getting healthy and really hot the last month, as New York has been one of the hottest teams in baseball to get right back in the American League East race. Damon hitting .355 the last month plus to raise that average to .260, and then Lackey tries to drop a breaking ball in, but it is called outside. Home plate umpires Paul Emmel, Dan Iasonia is at first base, Dale Scott second base, and Ron Culp at third. And Damon, with a green light on 3-0, drops a single to left field in front of Reggie Willits.
All right, defending behind John Lackey, Meister Asturis. He hadn't started third base since way back in May, but it's sponsored by Lexus, and Rob Quinlan is getting the start at first base against the left-hander Pettit. They got Willits back in there tonight playing left field. Mathis behind the dish. Angels are hopeful they don't have any miscues. You can't give this team any extra outs.
And one notable absence, that is Sean Figgins, not playing tonight. He's day-to-day. They did a CAT scan on his left wrist that has been hurting him for weeks, and it said it was normal, and he's feeling better. They're waiting on results from an MRI, so right now Figgins is day-to-day, and he's been an enormous part of the Angels' success in taking over the lead in the American League West. Derek Jeter up there hitting .326. That's 6th best in the American League. The AL leader is Maglio Ordonez of Detroit at .351.
It would be tough to have Figgins out for any extensive time, as hot as he's been. And last night, this really barked on him. There's a ball 4. He had a good at-bat going, but he tried to check his swing, and it barked on him. See him, he'll shake his left wrist a little bit there. And I wondered about the emotion of that moment. I wondered if he was wanting to swing the bat or what, but obviously he hurt himself.
And they were sending Johnny Damon on a hit and run, and Derek Jeter fouls it back to the screen, so they're pulling a little Angel-style baseball. And we have just received a report on Sean Figgins. Both the MRI and the CAT scan revealed a bone bruise on the outside of his left wrist, but Mike Scioscia told us before the game he had been suffering that injury for the last month, and he said it was bothering him more batting from the right side of the plate, which he would be doing against Andy Pettit tonight. Up the middle, right to Cabrera. He'll take it. 6-3 double play.
Just what John Lackey wanted to help that pitch count early in this first inning. Derek Jeter this season has grounded into his 20th double play ball. Tailor-made. Cabrera says, you know what? I can even take my time on this one.
Derek hit into a first inning double play last night to deny a Yankee rally, and the Angels jumped all over New York starter Mike Mussina, scoring a 2 runs off of him in the first inning and 5 more in the second. It was his shortest outing since 1995. Bobby Abreu. The Angels have been able to control Abreu in this series. Man, he came in hot, hitting .353, 5 home runs in July. Lackey will throw that off-speed pitch, and Abreu doesn't bite. Bobby has a very good eye. He's walked 60 times this year. Came over from the Phillies, where he was a walk machine there, and hit cleanup for the Phils. In there. So you go back in his history and you find out only Barry Bonds has walked more times, and so many of Barry's were intentional.
It's just great plate discipline. This guy has learned that over the years. Power hitters that have a pretty good idea about their strike zone, it makes them even more dangerous and lethal. And he's got good speed, so when he walks, he can run. He's got a good throwing arm. Very good athlete. I talked to him today about that funky top hand he uses. I said, man, what's up with that? Look at how he doesn't even use his bottom 2 fingers. I said, man, what are you doing up there?
Well, John Lackey throws a breaking ball low and in and strikes out Abreu. So a good start for John, and the Angels offense now taking place against Andy Pettitte. In 11 of their last 12 ball games at Angel Stadium, and they're averaging over 8 runs per game. And here's a look at that batting order. Willis back at the top, with Figgins getting the night off because of the injury to his left wrist. Cabrera, Guerrero go 2-3. Then Garrett Anderson last night became the 6th player in the last 50 years with 10 RBIs in one game. Kendrick right behind him. Matthews moves from 5 to 6. Esteuris back in there at 3rd. Quinlan at 1st against the lefty Andy Pettitte, with Jeff Mathis batting 9th. And here is Pettitte looking for win number 11. He has been outstanding since the All-Star break, 6-1.
All right, there's the first cutter of the night. This guy relies on his cut fastball into right-handers. Okay, good cutter. He's got a slider and a changeup he'll use a lot more than he used to. Being a veteran, he's understanding how important that pitch is to get those right-handers to roll over.
And you're right about being a veteran. Now 35 years old, his 13th big league season.
Okay, he's got to be able to get ahead. That's what he wants to do. Great pickoff move, one of the best in the business. And hard cutters inside, bats beware. He's looking to get a few of them.
And Rex, your second point, how important will that be? Because the Angels like to run. Will they be hitting and running more than stealing bases against Pettitte?
You would think, because you can't get that big a lead. This guy's extremely deceptive. He's got some good looks over there at first base. He's got a phenomenal move. He looks like he's going home, and he comes over to first base. So he's right, a borderline balk, but they never call it on him because they know his reputation.
Oh, he's knifed that one down and in, and strikes out Reggie Willits, who's been striking out a bit lately. That's 8 strikeouts in his last 3+ starts.
All right, defensively, sponsored by Rico, Jorge Posada. This guy, he's a workhorse. But I'm going to tell you, he likes Jose Molina here because he knows he's got a good guy to back him up. He doesn't have to play all these games. But he's a good bat, having a tremendous season. Yankees are doing good this year defensively.
Now Orlando Cabrera. Cabrera chops the first one right to Alex Rodriguez, and he throws out OC for the second out.
Okay, now Pettit, he's having that same pattern that he's had over the last 4 starts. He's retired the side in order in the first inning in the last 4 starts. So he's gotten everybody out in that first inning. That's a big thing for a pitcher. First innings are when you want to attack the most.
Well, he's won his last 4 starts, and we told you since the All-Star break, 6-1. He has not allowed a home run in those starts. Really keeps the ball down and cutting inside to right-handers. And here's Vlad Guerrero. It was interesting. Andy Pettit put his glove over his mouth and yelled over to Alex Rodriguez, sorry, that pitch was supposed to be inside. And it was hooked by Cabrera. Supposed to be away, I should say. It came back inside, and that's why it was pulled to A-Rod.
Pettit trying to work ahead on that corner. Just missing.
Well, here's Vladimir Guerrero. Last night knocked in a run, and that gave him his 9th 100 RBI campaign in his marvelous career. Started with the Montreal Expos, came to the Angels. Didn't back off one bit. First year with the Angels, won the American League MVP. And he sends one high in the sky and deep to right. Abreu says he has it. He does at the warning track and makes the catch. Presents Angels Baseball, brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler with you at the Big A. John Lackey walks slowly to the hill. He knows he has a difficult task. He has to face one of the hottest hitters and the greatest players in the game today, Alex Rodriguez, youngest ever to 500 home runs. He has blasted 3 big flies in this series already. He skies this one on the first pitch to center field. Gary Matthews is there, and he makes the catch.
All right, Posada this series on Monday, line shot. That was a laser shot. Alex Rodriguez hit off his bat. Chris Buchek. Last night, he was at it again. Says, you know, that's a good, easy swing. Got up underneath it. Got it over that big wall. And again, pulls one way out of here. His third at bat.
Well, John Lackey remembered that last night's second inning, first pitch from Kelvin Escobar, he swung on it and ripped it over the right center field wall. So John Lackey did not even come into the strike zone, kept it down, stayed with the fastball at 91 miles an hour, but did not throw him a pitch in the strike zone. A-Rod swung at it and popped it up.
That's right. You know, he hadn't had a lot of success off of Lackey either. Just a 195 average, 8 for 41. 3 big flies, though, but John got him again.
The Angels in first place in the American League West by 2.5 games. The team that is chasing them, Seattle, lost today 8-4 to the Minnesota Twins. Miguel Batista, who had been pitching so well, did not today, and the Twins knocked him off. Meantime, Boston trying to keep that lead on the Yankees that was at 6 at the start of the evening, and Boston lost today to Tampa Bay 2-1. So right now it's at 5.5.
All right, Big John, when he's ahead in the count like that, he can waste a pitch. You saw Mathis come up out of his crouch. He wanted the ball up. That's likely to set up a big curveball. That's his strikeout pitch. But he came back in with a heater. So he's developed a slider this year, and he'll throw that slider occasionally. It's a little more of a flat break. Before, he used to just have his fastball, big curve, and his change, but now he's incorporated the slider, so he's got 4 that he'll use.
He's a guy that loves the big games, loves the big moments. He wanted to face Josh Beckett in that doubleheader last week when he lost so badly to the Red Sox. Instead, he pitched the day game against Clay Buchholz and did not pitch well. As a matter of fact, the Red Sox hit for the cycle in the first 5 hitters. They sent 12 men to the plate and scored 6 runs off John in the first inning. Worst game of the year. Didn't walk anybody.
That's right. Last 2 starts, he hasn't walked a batter.
As John would tell you, well, I couldn't walk anybody. That's because they were hitting all of my first pitches for singles, doubles, triples, and home runs.
He said my good pitches were hit and the bad ones were hit even harder.
But he is always ready to take on the big games, and twice this year he's pitched against New York and pitched extremely well. Beat the Yankees May 27th, and he and Clemens locked up in a pitcher's classic at Yankee Stadium. But command was the key in both of those games, Rex. You go back and look, and he pitched 16 innings in the 2 games, only walked 2 batters, and struck out 15.
He's looking for one here, but Matsui's got a nice AB going for the first time tonight off of John. Next pitch will be the 8th one coming.
Matsui lines it into right field, a 1-out single. So the Angels have given up 2 hits to New York tonight, but that's not even close to what the Texas Rangers did tonight against the Baltimore Orioles, and that's our Corona Extra, the official timeout. They won, Texas did, 30-3 over Baltimore. That is an American League record, most by any team since 1900. The previous record, 29 by the 1950 Red Sox and by the 1955 White Sox. Now back in 1897, the Cubs scored 36.
Incredible. And what's even more interesting is Cal State Fullerton alumni Wes Littleton picked up a save in that game for Texas.
Well, Rex, he had to protect a 27-run lead.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing.
3 effective innings,
right.
And he pitched 3 innings of shutout baseball, protected that lead.
That's what the rule book states.
Can you imagine the Baltimore pitching staff going, well, we gave up 5 in the 4th, 9 in the 6th, 10 in the 8th. That hurt. And 6 more in the 9th.
Uncle.
And they're playing a doubleheader.
Oh, that's even worse.
And Texas has the lead in that one, 5-3. So normal baseball, they've only scored 35 runs in 2 games.
Ooh-wee. Posada hitting .346 off of John Lackey in his career, 9 for 26 with 1 big fly.
That's back up the middle for a hit. So Posada keeps it going, batting .332 and racing to third Hideki Matsui. So New York has runners in the corners, just 1 out in the 2nd inning.
Get a little bit too much to the plate, you know these guys are going to make some contact, and when it's elevated like that out over the middle, you know they're going to hit it hard. So now John's going to have to be a little bit more careful against Cano, but He's looking for a double play. He's already had one turn in that first inning for him.
That last fastball was up a bit. Now he has to face Cano, and the Angels have done a great job on this dangerous second baseman. He leads all second basemen in RBIs, but he's only 0 for 6 in this series. Came in hitting over 400 the last month.
He looks, he struggled a little bit here in the first 2 games defensively, though, out at second base. But yeah, this guy likes to go inside out with his power. Matthews playing him a shade to left field, left to center. Well, there was a 2-seamer that really had some good movement on that one. Cano has grounded into 12 double plays.
New York, first in batting, first in runs scored, first in home runs in the American League. But they've lost the first 2 games of this series to the Angels. Lackey has it, gets it to Cabrera. Pitcher's best friend, started by John Lackey, and a 1-6-3 double play. It's star time at the Big A. That means number 16, Garrett Anderson, the 10 RBI man from last night, ready for his encore. And he is just the 6th player since 1969 to log 10 or more RBIs in one game. Mark Whitten had 12 for St. Louis in 1993, but the Angels list, we saw Vlad Guerrero do it here at the Big A against Pedro Martinez in the Red Sox in 2004, and that broke Lee Thomas's 61 record and Leon Wagner's record. So, and this would be a huge lift for the Angels with Garrett Anderson providing the protection for Vlad Guerrero. Even Garrett said before the ball game that I knew they moved by Vlad Guerrero to get to me. They wanted the lefty-lefty matches, so I was just looking at it and saying, if the ball is in a certain zone, hit it hard. He did. And he lines another one towards right, and that's another hit for Garrett Anderson. So 5 hits in the last 2 games.
Okay, if that breaking ball is not put just where he wants it, Garrett's going to hit it. He's hot now, but I'll tell you, he's always been hot against Pettit. 377 average, and that was his 70th at-bat against Pettit in his long career. 13th year Garrett Anderson's in. Loves to pick on mistakes. Got one there.
So Anderson at first. Howie Kendrick hot since coming off the DL. Missed more than a month because of a broken left index finger, and he came back on Monday and had 2 hits and 3 at bats, had a sacrifice and a walk in the Angels 7-6 win, and came back with 4 hits last night. 6 for 8 in the series. He's taken his average from 297 to 315. Lifts that one foul. Bedemeat will give it a look, but it's in the stands.
Howie has the ability to go to all fields. He's not just a one-dimensional dead pull hitter. Last night we saw him drill this one off the wall. I'm surprised that Barney Lopez, the groundskeeper, didn't have to fix that fence with a hole in it. That ball was drilled. Now look at him go. That takes a change up the opposite way and staying in the middle of the field. Good hands. He stays inside the ball well.
Shot to Cano. Jeter will get the double play, but again Kendrick hitting the ball sharply, but right at Robinson Cano, who starts the 4-6-3 double play.
All right, so Pettit says, hey, look, John Lackey, I can play your game too. Have my defense just right. Cano, who's been shaky so far in the first 2 games defensively, turned that line shot into a marshmallow. Good soft hands on that one.
Andy Pettit now will deal with Gary Matthews. Gary took some extra BP today, hitting just .214 in the month of August, and has been having a tough time from the right side of the plate. But I really believe his second inning play on Monday's game really made a difference, where he had that hustle double, Rex, when he just rolled a single up the middle past Cano. And this one is right to Robinson Cano, who picks it up and throws out Matthews, and the Angels quickly done in inning number 2. Blue Jays are in town tomorrow to kick off a 4-game series against the first place Angels, and there are still many great seats available, so make sure you're at the Big A as the Angels make a run at another American League West Division title. Tickets start at just $9 for adults and $5 for kids, and can be purchased at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket office. You want to get those seats because the Angels have been selling out. 44,000 plus Monday night, 44,000 plus last night.
Don't miss out on the fun. Get your tickets now, especially for the last few home games this year. Those are going to be exciting, especially against Seattle.
Well, the Angels at 42-17. They're winning almost 72% of their home games this year. And here's Wilson Bedemeat, slammed a 3-run home run in the 9th inning last night. By that time, it was too little too late, as the Angels had opened up an 18-5 lead going to the 9th. Mark Gwynn was able to finish it and got his first major league save. And then Gwynn sent down today because the Angels needed some coverage, because right now Sean Figgins is day to day. They're not sure when he'll come back from that left wrist strain. And Brandon Wood was called up from the minor leagues.
Let's give him a little bit more depth at the third base position.
How about that pitch? Inside fastball eats up better meat, and that is strikeout number 2 for John Lackey.
Hey, Lackey going right after him. I'll tell you, a couple fastballs on the outside part of the plate, and this one here finishes him off. Mathis is just in his little rocking chair back there, rocking back and forth. John's hitting his spots. Didn't have to move.
Melky Cabrera bunting, and it's a fair ball, and Mathis picks it off. He is cat quick, and he threw out Cabrera by plenty.
Nope. Also, he used his momentum and with his body to reach out and keep the ball fair. Okay, watch him. He's saying, I want to get the fair. Look at home plate umpire Paul Emmel doing a good job of getting his eyes in position to see if that ball was going to be fair or not. Clears himself, moves inside so he has a clear path to the runner to throw him out. You don't want to hit that runner.
And you're seeing the confidence of Jeff Mathis really grow. And that one is shot down the line, and that's a fair ball into the corner. Damon around first base, races for second, will stop there with 2 outs. Damon now 2 for 2 with a single to left and a double to right.
Damon, he fought that one right off his hands. Shot. I mean, it was a lob shot right on the line.
The Yankees have out-hit the Angels 4-1 in tonight's game, but no one's has scored because the Angels have turned 2 double plays, and Joe Torre's Andy Pettitte had one turned behind him. Derek Jeter.
This guy's a clutch hitter. 377 with runners out there at second base and beyond. Loves that inside fastball. He won't pull it. Once in a while he will, but he'd rather get those. Keep the hands inside the ball and shoot it to right center. Matthews playing him where he thinks he's going to hit it in right center field.
Well, in this situation, 2 outs with runners in scoring position. He is number 1 in the league. Sends one to center field. Matthews had him played perfectly, and you can credit Ron Renneke for that. He made the defensive charge. He runs the outfield and had Matthews play that way. Andy Pettitte's first pitch of the bottom of the 3rd inning is to Turris. Turris, one of many Angels who enjoyed a terrific game last night. He scored a career high 4 runs, also had a season high, tied a season high with 3 hits. Andy Pettitte got a breaking ball over and then works away, and as Turris kind of reached for one, and now is down in the count 0-2. Meiser wouldn't chase that one, so 1 ball and 2 strikes because The Angels really need to make Pettit work a little harder. He only needed 8 pitches to get out of the first and only 8 more to get out of the second.
Crazy eights.
In there, strike 3 call.
All right, our Jack in the Box game reset for early in this ball game on August 22nd. The double plays. Big John Lackey got Jeter in one early. That was a nice pickup for him. He wasn't done. Right back to him. Touch situation again. Gets out of it. And then Pettit gives one up to Cano, to Jeter. So that's 3 double plays early in this ball game. And I'm going to tell you that those are going to help the pitcher's pitch counts. Quinlan with a beauty.
Posada up, snapping it down to first, and they got him.
Wow, a sweet bunt by Quinney, and even a sweeter play by Posada. Quinlan, we don't see him get soft very often. He does. Touched it nice. Posada, though, catches it, spins and fires and gets him by a half a step. Sweet play there. I'll tell you, that's a big pick-me-up for Pettit. Defensively, looking good tonight. Everyone. You see that nice manicure job by Pettit, or excuse me, by Jorge Posada again, painting his fingernails white, so Pettit can see the signs he's putting down. Some catchers will put white tape around their fingers. Posada likes to paint those nails.
He went away to Jeff Mathis, and Jeff doesn't bite, so the count goes 1-1. Jeff getting a lot of playing time lately. Mike Napoli is still on the DL. Coming back, he has been catching bullpen sessions, taking batting practice, but Mike Scioscia said he will not run until the end of the week. Test that hamstring that bit him again in Toronto last week.
He's got to lay off the bites. He's just got to back down his running program. Whenever it bites, it tells you he's not ready.
Out of play.
Pettit, this guy has had, in his last 4 starts, we showed you the number, his ERA is under 3, but he really has tremendous command. He's working all of his pitches very well. It says it's a slider, but I call it a curveball because it has a downward break to it. We saw that pitch thrown to Garrett, who got a hit earlier in this game. The Angels only knock so far, but his changeup's a pitch that uses it very effectively. But the cut fastball is his bread and butter.
Rex, will he throw that more to right-handers than to lefties?
Yes, but he's doing the same to lefties. It just goes away from the left-hander. But it's a more effective pitch against a righty because he sees it. He likes to throw it right on the middle part of the plate, and at the last minute it darts in a couple inches and it jams a lot of batters. Lefties will take it the other way.
Mathis sends it back our way, and the count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think Jeff really doing a better job competing in his at-bats. He had a wonderful at-bat where he worked the walk last night, and he was down in the count 0-2, worked it back to 3-2, fouled off a couple of pitches, and then got a base on balls. Also had a double last night to drive in 2 more runs.
No, I agree. But, you know, keep in mind, coming into this game, he only has 87 at-bats. Okay, that's still hardly any at-bats to get your timing going. So he's starting to put together better at-bats. And it takes time. It's a timing game. He can hit a lot better than he's shown.
Pettit only needed 8 pitches to get out of the first, 8 to get out of the second. This next pitch will be the 8th to Jeff Mathis. And it is low, 3-2. Way to make him work. Andy, a big guy at 6'5", 225 out of Deer Park, Texas, taking on Jeff Mathis of Marianna, Florida. A 13-year veteran against a guy in his first full year in the big leagues. And that is missing inside, so a quality at bat by Jeff Mathis after he was down 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See that wicked cutter there? That ball took off at the last minute. Posada couldn't hardly even hold it in his glove. But a good job by Mathis to lay off of that. He's obviously watched some film of him. See at the last minute his middle finger on his pitching hand. He just puts a little more pressure on that to allow the cut in the ball to make that ball move into the righty. Finger pressure is all these guys do, and the way they hold the ball with the seams or against them allows the movement.
Now Reggie Willits. Willits is one Angel who's had a real tough time against the New York Yankees. Just one hit in 25 at bats. Mickey Hatcher, the Angels hitting instructor, was telling me before the ball game he would like to see Reggie a little more aggressive. It seems like he is more interested in working the count, getting on base, rather than in situations, particularly 2 out, go ahead and drive the baseball. Shows bunt there. It skips by Posada. Now this will get Mathis into scoring position. Backs away from attempting to go to third as Posada looked like he was almost teasing him to go.
Posada whiffed. It went off of Paul Immel's mask. He never even got a glove on it. Immel took the full brunt of that shot. Now they're talking about it. Watch this. Ouch. Smokes Immel. Pettit reaching back with a high fastball, a four-seamer. Bingo. Ouch. So Posada walks to the mound, telling Pettit, you know what? I hope Paul Immel's not angry with me because I need to give him a little break.
Okay, Rex, here's a situation. 1-0 count. You're probably going to get a good pitch to hit. Mickey Hatcher would like to see Reggie Willits a little more aggressive. Go ahead and try and knock that guy in from second base.
I would agree with that. With 2 outs, you got to knock him in.
He thinks Reggie's been a little bit too defensive a hitter lately. He does take a rip at it and fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike, but got a good pitch to hit.
Some guys are a little more comfortable being the catalyst and the leadoff guy getting on base when no one's on. Willits would fit into that category. But at certain times, he's going to be called on to knock in a run. Now, he's got 32 ribbies this year, and he has the ability. He's going to have to be patient and lay off that high fastball. Pettit's going high fastballs with him like most pitchers have this year. Trying to get him to pop it up so he can't utilize the speed.
Fouls it off at 76 miles an hour. That is a pitch that he likes to go with, sliding it down and into a right-handed hitter. Willits batting .374 from the right side, .268 from the left side.
Pettit, he's 4-0 this month, Fizz. He's got a good start. His best month ever is 5 wins. Currently now he's tied with Tim Hudson for most wins in the month.
Teased him away.
But you notice most of the pitches are up, and then once in a while he'll try to drop his breaking ball down.
A 3-2 count to Reggie Willits. Well, he has seen more pitches than any other batter in the major leagues. He works the count so well, and Reggie has walked 58 times this year. Bonds and Johnson have seen, actually Barry was 68% of the pitches taken. I wonder how many of those have been intentional walks.
Sure, several. Willits, good count to drive one here.
Checks his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And that is strike 3. Pettit gets a pair of strikeouts in the inning.
A question tonight. The Angels scored 18 runs last night. Texas had 30 today. What's the Angels record for the most runs in a game? We'll answer that shortly. Fizz, do you have any guesses?
Well, you remember that 2002 season, didn't the Angels score like 20 runs against the Chicago White Sox? I remember they had 3 consecutive bunt base hits.
Well, that's a good guess. We'll see.
Trying to remember who the starting pitcher was that night. I think it might have been Dan Wright. The Angels just pounded the White Sox that evening on their way to the wild card, and they're winning their first World Championship. Beat the New York Yankees in the division series, then the Minnesota Twins, and then in 7 games the San Francisco Giants.
Okay, now when Abreu was last up, I was talking about that top hand of his, how he doesn't use the bottom 2 fingers on his left hand to grip the bat. And I said, why? He said, because I don't feel comfortable gripping it like that. I'm more comfortable. It's loose and I'm barely holding on. My bottom hand does the work. My top hand just follows.
Quinlan gets it to John Lackey, and that is the first out of the 4th inning.
Abreu with that loose grip on his top hand, barely even gripping the bat. That'll tell you how important that bottom hand is. Barely even grips the bat at all. He comes in, there's his swing, tightens up at the last minute, but having a loose grip allows you for quicker reaction. That's important. You don't white knuckle and try to draw the sawdust out of that bat.
John Lackey to Alex Rodriguez. Alex flied out to center field, his first time up. That started the 2nd inning. Lackey has given up at least 1 hit in each of the first 3 innings, but no runs against him. A-Rod, a home run Monday and 2 last night. Now 506 in his outstanding career. Good fastball on the inner half, and A-Rod takes it. A 1-1 count.
Yep, he's going to look at a couple pitches after that first at bat on the first pitch, flying out to the center fielder.
A-Rod was like 1 for 18 before getting that 500th home run back on August 4th. But it was almost like he could take a deep breath and let it out. Okay, I've got to 500. Now let's just go play ball. And since that time, Rex, he's been unbelievable. 373, 6 home runs since August 4th, and that 500th big fly. And we're seeing nothing but flashes go off every time he sees a pitch. The fans wanting to take home great memories by some of the greatest ball players. And when this guy finally retires, he might be number 1. He played one of the toughest positions, shortstop, for Seattle, then for Texas, and then had the strength and courage to move to third base. He'd never played that spot before. Lackey comes inside and walks A-Rod, and that's the 73rd time he has walked this year. Well, what happens when sports and science collide? Introducing the incredible new series that analyzes sports like you've never seen before. Don't miss the groundbreaking season premiere of Sports Science, September 30th at 9 o'clock only on FSN West. I hope they do a story on that MIT professor who did all the research on how a batter hits a baseball. They throw behind, A-Rod dives back, and he just barely gets there in time. Nice play by Jeff Mathis.
A little bit different on this pitch there. He couldn't exactly throw behind Matsui. He had to throw over the top of it. And Quinlan, having a glove on his left hand, different than a guy, Kochman, who's got a glove on his right hand. Watch how he has to turn around and make this tag, and couldn't quite get it. But Mathis had to throw over the top of Matsui. Couldn't be as accurate as he wanted to.
A-Rod 16 for 18 stealing bases this year. And there's a strike. And Matsui down to the count 0-2. Rex, an MIT professor did a study of the time it took a batter to see the release of a pitcher's hand, the baseball coming in, about 1 second time, and the time it took for the brain or the hands to tell the brain when to swing. And the MIT professor found out that it was physically impossible to hit a baseball. So it's basically muscle memory, where your eyes are basically immediately telling your hands where to go.
I think they ought to give that guy a courtesy at bat, let him stand in a big league game against a guy and let him really see what that's all about. But these guys have been doing it for years, since they've been kids. It's a reaction game, no doubt about it. That's why we talk about the loose grip. Look at Matsui. His fingers are nice and loose on that bat. You got to be able to react quickly. Held his swing nicely there. It's Ron Kolpa. He had the home plate last night. They rotate clockwise, the umpires do, per game.
Threw Matsui a breaking ball and an 0-2 count. Will he come back with it here? Matsui, dangerous batter. He was the American League Player of the Month with 13 home runs in July. Mathis offers fastball first, and he wants it away. A-Rod gets the lead, and Matsui takes it to left field. Willett's racing over, and he gets there for out number 2. Alex back to first base. Posada singled his first time, and New York had a great threat back in the second inning with Matsui at third, Posada at first base, but Robinson Cano followed and hit into a 1-6-3 double play. The Angels have turned 2 double plays in the game, and New York 1. Posada to left field, and the first pitch gets a base hit. A-Rod off the third base. Willits makes the throw go that way, and he should have gone to second. It looked like A-Rod was deking him coming around second base, daring him to throw, and Reggie should have brought it to second base. Now it's a second and third situation because Posada advanced on Willett's throw.
Well, Willits throws pretty well. He thought he had a chance, but let's not underestimate Alex Rodriguez's speed. For a big man, he runs very well. Slowed down a little bit there, but he can eyeball that. He doesn't need Larry Boa, the third base coach, to tell him to come over. Any play that's in front of the runner, he knows his ability. He knows if he can make the move or not. And it was no problem.
So Mike Butcher comes out, joins Jeff Mathis to talk about the situation with Cano. And we've got time to tell our fans about the Rally Monkey Kids Cap that's being given away tomorrow night. It's free for all kids ages 2 to 18, courtesy of Langer's Juice. You can't buy this hat anywhere, so be sure to log on to angelsbaseball.com now or visit the Angels Stadium ticket office to purchase tickets for this exclusive giveaway. Once again, there are some great seats available. Go online. Get a cap like that at angelsbaseball.com when you come tomorrow night. Cano. First pitch changeup, ball 1.
Okay, I'm sure Mike Butcher said, hey, look, let's go start out the guy a little bit soft and then make sure to pound him in because he's got such an inside-out swing. He's going to try to drive in those runs to the opposite field. 266 batter this year with runners out there.
He can change the game very quickly. 7 of his 13 home runs have come in the last month. Raised his average to 305 last year. Robinson hit 342 with 15 big flies. Fans getting stirred up with the big A. Again, 2 on. Rodriguez at third. Posada second base, 2 out. Swung at a bad pitch. That was ball 3.
Keep it inside on it. The guy likes the ball out over the plate. Wilson Betemeet on deck. Cano, the kid's got huge hands. Big handed guy. He's strong. Likes that ball up. Lackey's staying with that same location.
It almost seems like he doesn't want to deal with Cano. He'd rather deal with Wilson Betemeet, who's waiting on deck. John doesn't walk many. Walked 1 in that 4th inning.
70 RBIs is pretty good for your second baseman. Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop for the Angels, he's got 71. So both of these middle guys are very productive, driving runs in.
They go away, and Robinson Cano hits it away, but that pitch may have caught too much of the plate.
Still kept it out there, though, and that's all really Cano could do with that. It was a little bit up, which was good for John. Now let's see if he can execute a big breaking ball for a strike. That might be a good pitch for him.
He went away with the fastball. He has mainly pitched Cano soft, low, and in.
Hitters look for fastballs 3-2 right here.
He gave him a breaking ball, and Lackey's going to take it. Quick toss to first, and he throws it away, and 2 runs. Well, now they've got them hung up at between third and home, and they've got Posada in a rundown. And Posada's tagged out, but a run will score. Rodriguez comes home from third on the throwing error by John Lackey.
Wow.
Base wrecks.
High chopper off the mound. Guy with speed. Sometimes they're going to favor him. Lackey, you can't really tell had that throw been on the mark if he'd have gotten him. Now A-Rod almost got hit by that throw by Quinlan. So Posada was caught in no man's land, and he's out. Lackey fortunate they only got one on that play. Quinlan was heads up though. Alex was getting ready to tell Posada to slide. Watch him. He's saying, hey, come on, come on, come on, watch out. He's going to grab the bat to move it out of the way, and he says, I almost got hit. 2 throw rundowns, good. Alex was reaching there to try to move that bat out of the way. Almost got hit by Quinlan.
So they're ruling it a base hit by Robinson Cano, not an error by John Lackey, which surprises me because I did think if he makes an accurate throw, Cano is out at first base. And Orlando Cabrera now takes his strike.
All right, let's show that play again and see if John would have beat Cano on the throw. Oh, yeah, he would have got him by a step. That's an error all the way. Even though John had to go a long ways for it, he's a good athlete.
In the air, shallow right field. Bobby Abreu is there to make the catch on Orlando Cabrera for the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, you know, we have to see the replay. In real speed, it was tough to tell, but that slow motion play there, you could tell John, all he had to do was make an accurate throw. And as good an athlete as he is, I was thinking he was going to make that play. Just errant with the throw. Little dart toss is what it was. Second error for John Lackey on the season.
Now Vlad Guerrero almost hit it out his first time up.
Excuse me. Just one error. He wasn't charged with an error. My bad.
Vladdy rips it towards left. Off the wall. Wonder how many bases he'll get on this one. Now Damon drops the ball. And Vlad has a one-out double. I mean, he hit that one squarely. If he gets under it, it may still be traveling.
No, he definitely squared it up, and that's what the Angels need now. They need to start getting to Pettit here. They need to douse his confidence because he's cruising along pretty good. Now, Johnny Damon, he just turned and let that go over his head. Might have to check his forehead for tracer burns, as that ball was just flying by him. Shot. And Mickey Hatcher's been working with Vladimir Guerrero to try to get him to sit down a little bit more at the plate. He's been standing too tall lately. Doesn't have any balance when he swings.
Here is Garrett Anderson. Anderson 4 for 4 yesterday with runners in scoring position. Obviously, when you have 10 RBIs in one game, you're doing pretty well with men in scoring position.
That's right. He got that average up to 233 with runners in scoring position.
But 204.
That's right. Now he hit Pettit's big curveball last time. Pettit came back with a fastball. Garrett was ready for it, but he fouled it back. Change up.
A little bit something off.
Doing a little change up there. You don't usually see that ball to left-handers. Because sometimes that ball will creep back over the middle of the plate towards the left-handed bat.
Pettit has Garrett down, no balls and 2 strikes. Garrett hitting over 380 against Andy, and their duels against each other. In the dirt, that skips away. Vladdy's going for third, and the throw is not in time.
Even Vladimir Guerrero will advance on a ball. I mean, you know, he's their big guy, their big home run guy, but he's very good at reading balls in the dirt, okay? And so should all his players are. You teach them to be ready for the ball that bounces on the curveball, and then you advance if you think you can.
And you love it with 1 out. Now Garrett Anderson, all he has to do is hit the ball on the ground somewhere up the middle. Let's see if they bring their infield in. I'm a little surprised they are, because it's early in the game, just the 4th inning. Now they're
bringing them halfway.
Halfway, yeah.
And that's okay. That means that any ball right at them on the line, they can come home with.
And Garrett stepped out for a moment just to see where the infielders were playing. The Angels as a team very aggressive from third base with 1 out. Not as aggressive with nobody out.
You don't see very many left-handers stand there with their glove up near their mouth and their face and the ball hanging down by the side. Okay, that's kind of a method he uses to hide the ball and not let the guy see any facial expressions or the baseball.
It's just like the guy who's his best friend, Roger Clemens.
That's right. I mean, watch it now. He's going to put that glove up there, and the ball is in the glove. He's not letting that hitter see any piece of it, which I think is smart. Good, patient. Garrett's locked in. We've seen him swing and miss at balls like that, getting fooled, but his front foot has been the key. He's not overstriding. That front foot's keeping his momentum and his weight back. That's what you want. That baby right there keeps you back. You want to have a whole lot of weight on that front side. Maybe 60-40 weight distributed.
Try to jam him inside. The count goes full. 3-2. It almost seems like Pettit, the way he saw Anderson rock the Yankees last night, they want to face even a hot hitter, and Howie Kendrick is waiting in the on-deck circle.
Okay, now I would doubt he throws him a big curve here. I bet he stays with the fastball, but we'll see.
Garrett does pull it.
Yeah, he went with his breaking ball
as well.
But still, you know, it was a pitch down and nothing he could hit. So Pettit executed a good breaking ball down. Garrett, he's not a walker. Doesn't walk a whole lot at all. 12 walks and 296 at bats.
Pettit wants to strike out, has 108 this year, coming in 166 innings. Vladimir trying to get that good secondary lead from third base. Has room with A-Rod playing off the bag. Ball 4. Second walk in the game by Andy Pettit. Also walked young Jeff Mathis in the third. And now he's walked Garrett Anderson in the fourth, and Howie Kendrick, who hit into a sharp 4-6-3 double play, hit the ball right on the screws against Pettit, but right at Robinson Cano.
Look at the expressionless face of these guys. That'll tell you about their focus and how serious it is. You know, you got to be in a certain bubble.
But Andy Pettit said, when I was in the minor leagues, Rex, he had a big time temper. He would really throw a temper tantrum on the mound, but he has a poker face now, and he said, yeah, I still burn inside when I make mistakes, but I'm not going to let that batter know it.
All right, and that's a big key. He's probably learned that by talking to other hitters.
Changeup, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Beauty. Pettit, back in his earlier days, would throw the changeup just as a show-me pitch. And now he's pitching it, he's throwing it for strikes, and he's much more effective. That's the evolution of a young guy compared to an old guy. He's starting to learn how to get guys out.
Hit towards third. Rodriguez goes second. Cano's turn. Got him! And it denies the Angels a run. Mike Scioscia will argue, because it was a bang-bang play, and Alfredo Griffin was arguing with first base umpire Dan Iasonia.
Tough play by A-Rod. Safe.
Oh, man.
Looked like it to me.
Top of the 5th inning. Wilson Betemit will lead things off. Dan Iasonia had a big argument, threw Mike Scioscia out earlier this week, and then made a difficult, challenging call here. But you see, Howie Kendrick's foot is on the bag, and that cost the Angels a run. Scioscia came out to argue with Iasonia, and Mike obviously did not win the argument. But I'm sure somebody might go check the replay, and Alfredo Griffin may whisper into Iasonia's ear, our replays showed you were wrong.
If he's smart, he will not do that.
All right. And now you must explain yourself, sir.
Because if you come out and tell the umpire he missed the call, the umpire might just say, oh, yeah, well, you're going to miss the rest of the game. See ya. Okay, now watch this foot position by Howie Kendrick. Watch where he steps on the base. Right there, he's touching the front part of the base. Young players out there, that's how you touch a base. The front part of the base, not the middle of the bag or the back of the bag. get there in front, you get there quicker. So she's saying, hey, come on, I saw that with my own eyes.
Popped up right side, Rob Quinlan. And Melky Cabrera is the second out. On a check swing in Monday's game, Mike Scioscia got tossed when Iasonia was the third base umpire. I mean, it was an immediate call.
Arguing a check swing, balls and strikes. You know, you can't argue balls and strikes. Unwritten rule by.
Mike said he did not argue balls and strikes.
Iasonia apparently thought that.
Short fuse. Angels won 7-6 and 10, and then rocked the Yankees last night 18-9, the most runs ever scored against the New York Yankees by the Angels. Joe Torre's team still chasing Boston, who lost today 2-1 to Tampa Bay. Edwin Jackson threw real well for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays today, and he went into that game 3 wins and 12 losses. Here's Johnny Damon, 2 for 2 in the game with a single and a double. Lackey has not had one 1-2-3 inning yet. He did have an inning where he did get them when Johnny Damon singled in the first, and then Jeter hit into a double play and struck out Abreu, but not one regular 1-2-3 inning. Man, a broken bat flare towards foul territory, and that will be out of play, but Johnny's got to need a new piece of lumber on this one.
All right. Our Aflac trivia question of the evening was: the Angels scored 18 runs last night. What's the Angels' record for most runs in a game? Fizz, you guessed the White Sox against the White Sox.
I was just saying I remember the White Sox game, but it was 24 in 1979 when Don Baylor had 8 RBIs. I knew that game against the White Sox wasn't the record, but I was picking my brain. Okay, where do you go from here? But I remember a 20-run game that we did here at the ballpark.
You're right 90% of the time. Thought you were right again.
A 2-2 count to Johnny Damon. John Lackey with 2 out. He's thrown 64 pitches on the night and fouled off. Damon now 33 years of age, from Orlando, Florida. His 13th big league season. Started with the Kansas City Royals, spent 1 year in Oakland, then the rest of the time with Boston and now the New York Yankees. Beat the Yankees in that incredible comeback by the Red Sox when they were down 3-0. Down in game 4, 1 out from an elimination, and they roared back and won the series. In there, strike 3 call. 4 strikeouts for John Lackey in 5 innings. Bottom of the 5th inning of play. Andy Pettitte ready to deal with Gary Matthews, Meister Turris, and Rob Quinlan. New York scored a run in the 4th inning. Matthews in the game has grounded out. Gary just batting .214 in August. He's done well at home, hitting .319 at the Big A, .223 on the road, and he takes that pitch in. It's a bit low. And the Angels have really been outstanding this year at home, 42-17, but they have had incredible success against the New York Yankees here. They've won 11 of their last 15 at the Big A over New York since 2005, and that includes that 05 playoffs. Chopper to short. Jeter has it. Matthews is out. Fans will be able to enjoy a normal Angels telecast on FSN West or experience what it's like to be at the ballpark on FSN Prime Ticket. Dugout View presented by your Southern California Chevy dealers tomorrow at 7 on FSN Prime Ticket. Now, Rex, when you talk about that, the Angels winning 11 of their last 15 at the Big A over the Yankees, do you think that gets into the mind of this very experienced team?
Oh, what a question. The Angels and their ballpark here are in deep in the minds of the Yankees. They have had a hard time figuring out the Angels' success, but they know.
Up the middle, and Meister Turris has a base hit.
Joe Torre describes in one word the Angels' offense: distracting. Okay? Hideki Matsui says, you get the feeling that they really study us, the Yankees. They've assembled the talent to execute their game plans, particularly their pitchers. They don't make mistakes. They don't self-destruct. Giambi says on the Rally Monkey, man, that's the best gimmick in the league. I love the skits, referring to the movies they put on the board. Okay? Jeter says, we want to be ahead, but anytime they put that monkey on the board, they start scoring runs. I don't know if I like that.
Well, remember going down to talk to Dusty Baker the year after the Angels eliminated the San Francisco Giants and won the World Championship, and we said, hey, Dusty, what do you remember about this ballpark? And he said, those loud halo sticks and that stupid monkey.
I think he used another word.
Yes, he did, but we cleaned it up.
Yeah. But you know what? This is a tough place to play if you're an opponent now. The Angels have shown that. The fans are really rocking. As a matter of fact, Alex Rodriguez told me that this ballpark is electric, and he loves it. Take that any way you want.
Is that Rex Hudler's negotiation leverage?
That's my words interpreted through Alex. His words. Interpreted through me. Does that make sense?
He did tell me that he would love to have you broadcast his games.
Well, this guy here is a premium player, and in order for him to wear that Angel uniform, it's going to take some premium dollars, and that's something that's way out of my league.
Well, Mike Scioscia was asked that question the other day, and he just said, hey, you're asking the wrong guy. He goes, me and 29 other managers, including Joe Torre in that other locker room, would love to have Alex Rodriguez. He is the best player in the game. Bill Stoneman is the Angels general manager. They'll make that decision at the end of the year because the Yankees have 10 days at the end of the World Series to negotiate with Alex Rodriguez and his agent Scott Boras, whose office is in Newport Beach.
There's no one in their lineup who won't run, says Joe Torre. So to answer your original question, yes, the Angels are in the minds of the Yankees.
I tell you, the Angel runners at first base have the shortest leads I've seen all year long. Andy Pettitte has that move that is so close to a balk. Tino Martinez told me one time, who was their first baseman, that there have been times where I got fooled and I wasn't sure he was coming to first base.
Yeah, if you're a first baseman, you got to really keep your eye on that pitcher.
I mean, look at Turris's lead. I'll bet it's a good yard shorter than it normally is.
Well, you know, so what you do is you just get enough lead to where you can fall down and get back to first.
And that's what Meister just did. Mark Langston had 91.
Langley.
Rogers with 90 and Pettit with 80. They just don't run on Andy anymore.
There's a nice hold by Pettit. Okay, so if you want to hit and run on a guy like this, you better make sure that he goes home, number one, and number two, that batter makes some kind of contact or you're out at second base, because there's no way you're going to get a jump. Hit and runs, you got to make sure he goes home.
Quinlan goes to right field down the line, but it twists and goes foul. And fans come out and see Rob Quinlan at the AT&T store on Main Street in Orange on Saturday. Rob will be signing autographs from 11 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Join him on all the fun, prizes, and Angels excitement. It's courtesy of AT&T, and he is one of the most delightful guys you will ever meet. So you'll enjoy not only having him sign an autograph, but getting a chance to talk to the kid from Minnesota. Again fouled off.
Pettit was a big leaguer for the first time in '95 against the Yankees, and I was a member of the Angels, and I faced him a few times then. He won 12 games that season. In '96, he won 21 games. Okay, so he was the new kid on the block and was really good. And I remember being at first base, and he picked me off, and I was like, wow, I didn't even have a big lead. And so you really got to watch. There's a little step-off move he's got to show you as well. Mark Langston had one of the best step-off moves I've ever seen, along with Terry Mulholland.
It's interesting you bring up '95 because that team that you were on was the last Angels team that swept the Yankees at the Big A. Now, the Angels swept New York at Yankee Stadium back in May. But it's been 12 years since they swept New York here at Angel Stadium.
But Pettit, I remember he'd be running in the outfield, and I was a veteran, and I knew that rookies don't know a whole lot of etiquette, so I tried to befriend him, tell him how great he was. Man, you're a good left-hander. Gosh, you look so good. And that ploy on my part was to lure him in, to get him to believe that and go, wow, hey, thanks Rex, I appreciate that. And that way that'll soften him up a little bit, so maybe he's not intimidated at all and he's going to go in there. Now, it worked. I was only 2 for 7 off him in my career, but he was young at that time. Now he knows better than to talk to hitters. You never want to tip your hand to him.
Well, they say the greats are like that. Bob Gibson refused to talk to any opposing player. He just looked at him and said, you are the enemy. Ron Fairley was his teammate with St. Louis, and when he was traded to the Dodgers, he went over to Gibson during batting practice and, hey, Bob, how you doing? He says, I'm not talking to you. You're the enemy now. Walked away. Ooh, that's competitive. Rob Quinlan goes to right field. Abreu with the lights there throws to first base as Turris gets back in time. The ball skips over the head of Betemit, but Posada was backing up wisely. 2 outs.
Body language that Abreu showed was that he was having some trouble in that bank of lights up there. It happens once in a while, but you stay in there until it comes out. Now he airmails his throw as Esturris was halfway and it went over Betemit's head, but no advance by Esturris as Posada was right there.
Jeff Mathis worked one of the 2 walks that's been issued by Pettit tonight. It should be a tie ball game at 1. The Angels had runners on first and third with 1 out, and Howie Kendrick hit into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. But on our replay, it showed that Kendrick was safe at first base, and Guerrero should have scored the Angels' run. But those are the breaks of the game. We told you today Minnesota knocked off Seattle 8-4. Oakland beat Toronto 4-1. But the biggest game of the day, the biggest story really, is Texas beat Baltimore 30-3. The most runs in the big leagues since 1900. And in the second game, Texas is leading Baltimore by 1 run. They won by 27 runs in the first game. They're leading by 1, 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th. In that game, Marlon Byrd and Travis Metcalf both hit grand slams, and Jared Saltalamacchia and Ramon Vasquez hit 2 home runs each. There it is. The Red Sox in 1950 scored 29. The White Sox in 1955 also scored 29, but Texas eclipsed them today.
Most runs scored in a game in 110 years.
Pettit strikes out Jeff Mathis through 5, and he has shut out the Angels. Now it's time for the Coors Light Cold Blast, and Garrett Anderson put the Yankees on ice last night with this grand slam home run. That set an Angels record, his 8th grand slam, and 10 RBIs, most in one game in Angels history. And he has been mentoring Casey Kotchman ever since that young man came up from the minor leagues. Matter of fact, when Garrett was in the minor leagues at rookie ball in the old Pioneer League, Casey's dad, Tom Kotchman, was Garrett's manager, and Casey was the bat boy during the summers.
All right, that pitch right there, one of John's keys. Stay on the outside corner.
It's Jeter, Abreu, and A-Rod here in the top of the 6th. Jeter 0 for 2, grounding into a double play and flying out to center field. John has worked him away a lot tonight with the fastball and with the breaking ball. He'll stay away here. And it is tapped towards Orlando Cabrera. Quick toss and got him. Nice play. Hey kids, looking for a great way to show off your favorite baseball cards and keep them all together? Well, the Angels have your answer. Come out to the Big A this Saturday, August 25th, for the Angels Baseball Card House giveaway. It comes with a free pack of baseball cards, and it's a perfect way for you to show them off. It's free for all kids ages 2 to 18, and it's courtesy of Upper Deck. Can't wait to start or add to your baseball card collection? Just go online. Get tickets. AngelsBaseball.com. Jeter's out for the 3rd time. Abreu comes up and takes a good hook from Lackey at 76 miles an hour. Abreu 0 for 2 as John has worked him soft in, Rex, but when he struck him out, it's on a fastball, inner half.
Kelvin got him twice on that pitch right there last night. So once you find a little weakness in a batter, you just stay right on that weakness until he shows you he can hit it.
And they're staying inside with the fastball, and John barely misses. It's a 2-1 count to Bobby. So as a hitter, all of a sudden you start looking inside, and then maybe John goes away either with the fastball or the changeup. They do go away. Good pitch by John. Just the ability to change the hitter's line of sight. Down and in, up and away.
You know, that's an important aspect in pitching. Now, pitchers will learn that. They don't get the chance to swing the bat that often, but they'll learn that by watching tapes and talking to other hitters.
Left field, Willits, 2 outs. Well, John Lackey's ability to eliminate the big inning, I think, has been key to his success this year. 15 wins, and he's been able to get Alex Rodriguez out once. He did walk him, and that result was Rodriguez would score the game's only run on Lackey's miscue in the 4th inning. In a play we really thought was an error by John, was ruled an infield hit by Robinson Cano. And A-Rod scored in the play. Good breaking ball, strike 1. He is 21st all-time in home runs with 506. His 8th 40 or more home run season, and another wicked breaking ball outside corner, 0-2.
Okay, let's take a look at the play they gave him a hit on that should have been an error. John, tremendous athlete. He just missed his release point there.
If the throw is accurate, Cano's out.
Yeah, they got him. Alex gets his hands out in extension. He's tough. Try to tie him up in, get him out of the way. That fastball in the corner just missed there. Long arms, strong hands.
Pound him in.
Try to. Make sure you get it in there, though. Don't miss.
Most home runs come on pitchers' mistakes trying to get the ball in and leave it over. Breaking ball. 2-2 count to A-Rod. He has a good eye, very disciplined hitter. It's hard to believe now at the age of 32 he's already been in the big leagues 13 years.
Check out Mathis, how he blocks this ball, but watch his hand, his throwing hand. Watch where he puts it, his throwing hand, behind his back. Why? Because he doesn't want to take a ball off his fingers and ruin his throwing. He ruin his hand. He does it again there.
Now, Rex, would he change up with a guy on base, let's say a guy at third base, where you don't want to let the ball skip by you and that run come home from third? Would he then release the hand, bring it forward, and help him out cupping?
He might. He might alter it a little bit with third base, a guy there. But, usually, a guy with good fundamentals and is fundamentally sound will do that. They'll also put that hand behind their back when the pitch comes, just to stay away from foul tips. That's how to protect your hand.
Lackey does not give in. He thought he had strike 3 with the body language that he showed home plate umpire Paul Emmel.
I had a feeling this game would be a lot different than last night's with these two horses pitching. Pettit and Lackey, both tough Texans, both on top of their games. Breaking ball, not where it's caught, it's where it crosses the plate. Must have been up and maybe in a little.
So A-Rod at first base, and with 2 out, he might be going. 16 steals this year. Mathis kept him close with 2 very good throws. Rodriguez is going. Mathis from his knees has no chance to get A-Rod, and now he's in scoring position with 2 out.
Talked about his speed. Tell you, that's his 17 stolen bases. Only been caught twice. He's just a great athlete. You don't see a lot of guys with his kind of power that rip off bases like he does.
17 now. Caught just twice. Big time in the game with Matsui up. 1 for 2 in the game. 4 hits in the series. And you can see how hot Hideki has been recently. .350 average last 45 games, and that includes 15 home runs. He was just jerking them down the line at Yankee Stadium into that short porch.
Matsui didn't always bat left-handed. I talked to him before the game. I said, I read something where your brother helped you turn to the left side of the plate. Is that true? He says, yeah. You know what? He encouraged me to do that. He said, there's more right-handers.
Hits that one well. Matthews off to the races, still going back, reaches up and makes a tremendous running catch, and Lackey gets out of trouble in the 6th inning. HDTV of Major League Baseball. Gary Matthews taking a run away from the New York Yankees. John Lackey says, "That's my guy, saved me again." I remember the first game of the year, Gary Matthews took a home run away from an opponent, and we saw John Lackey walking back to the dugout, and we could read his lips, and he said, "That's why we got him." Gary Matthews, he has saved so many pitchers' runs this year.
That was Mark Teixeira.
Yeah. Teixeira now having quite a year with Atlanta after the trade from Texas to Atlanta. Reggie Willits will lead it off.
Third time through the order now here in the 6th inning.
Here's Reggie Willits. You see the trouble he's had against the Yankees, and currently 9 strikeouts in his last 4 games. That's not like Willits at all. And right now the Angels do not have the luxury of having Sean Figgins. He is day to day because of that left wrist problem that troubled him last night. Took himself out of the ball game.
That's right. They did an MRI and a CAT scan, and they revealed a bone bruise on the outside of his left wrist. And a CAT scan, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the use of a computer to produce a cross-sectional view of an anatomical part of being investigated from X-ray data. Did you understand that?
I'm not sure I understood what you said, but I think I understand what I think you meant to have me decode.
That's the medical glossary. It says use of a computer to produce a cross-sectional view of an anatomical part being investigated from X-ray data.
I got it now.
That's a CAT scan.
Please don't tell me what an MRI is.
Oof. I will.
But first, this 2-2 pitch from Andy Pettitte to Reggie Willits. And now Rex Hudler's explanation of an MRI as Willits strikes out for the 3rd time.
Willits' little hat trick. Okay, magnetic resonance imaging. Imaging procedure in which a radio frequency pulse causes certain electrical elements of the injured tissue to react to this pulse. And through this process, a computer display and permanent film establish a visual image.
Rex loves that Google.
That's the medical glossary.
Here's Orlando Cabrera. Angels trailing by a run. New York scored their run in the 4th inning.
Those are big words, man. No wonder you got to go to college for 8 years to be a doctor.
And that's just to learn the words.
Wow.
First 4 years, learn the words. Next 4 years, actually study the muscles.
Pettit, he's got it going on. Good command tonight with all of his pitches. Big breaking ball, tries a little back door, didn't work.
On Marines.com, Semper Fi. Leaders of the game. Orlando Cabrera leads the American League shortstops in fielding. Jeter won the Gold Glove the last 3 years, and there goes Cabrera to left field, rather deep, racing back Johnny Damon. He leaps, and it is gone, and that home run ties this game.
OC got some elevation. He needed it. Got it up there, enough to carry out. Cabrera, 8th home run. Curveball, a hanger. He caught it just perfectly underneath it. Now that's the first home run Pettit's given up in 46 innings.
5 starts. He had been absolutely remarkable with his ability to keep the ball down, but hung that one, and Orlando just blasted his 8th home run of the year. A 1-1 ball game.
That's his thumb guard in his mouth, for any of those wondering what that is. Wears that on his top hand thumb down low to take the friction away from the sting of the bat.
Vladimir Guerrero almost hit a home run his last time up. Swings mightily at a 90-mile-an-hour heater away from him and misses. It's a 1-1 count. He laced a shot that hit the base of the wall, but I'll bet it was going out there about 105 miles an hour.
Okay, Mickey Hatcher wants him to sit down a little bit, get a little bend in those knees. He's been standing straight up, and I noticed that last night with Vladdy. He's standing almost straight up. I think so he can reach that outside pitch, but when you stand up, you don't have as much balance. When you squat down and sit down, you have a little bit more balance in your legs. So he's got a little bit of bend tonight. This game is all about adjustments from the mound side to the hitting side, constantly making adjustments day to day. Good hit and count right here.
Back to the screen it goes.
Okay, he didn't swing real hard, Cabrera, on this swing. Okay, he just put his bat out there, and the ball was hung up there a little bit. It was up, and he caught the back underside of the baseball. When you do that, that ball gets backspin on it, and it carries further when you do that. When you catch it just clean underneath.
Pettit ready now with the 3-2 pitch to Vladimir Guerrero. He swings and misses at the changeup and strikes out. 6 strikeouts now for Andy.
What a pitcher's duel we got in this final game. Angels looking for a sweep of the Yankees. Hadn't happened here at home since '95. But these two guys being extremely stingy. Matter of fact, you know, hitters are only 2 for 24 with runners in scoring position over the last 4 starts off of Pettit. So Angels have had a man in scoring position just once tonight. So make it 2 for 25 over his last 4. He's been real stingy.
Garrett Anderson pops it up. Shallow right. Out goes Cano. In comes Abreu, and Abreu makes the catch. They almost collided. But Orlando Cabrera goes deep. And this game is now locked up at 1 apiece.
High game.
1-0 lead for 5.5 innings, and then that guy Orlando Cabrera busted his 8th home run of the year, tying the game at 1. Another dandy between the Angels and Yankees. The Angels have already clinched the season series, 6 victories to 2. And the Halos have won the 9th season series over New York since 1995. The Yankees have won just 3, and they split the others. Here is John Lackey to face Jorge Posada, who shows bunt. He is 2 for 2 in the game. What a year Posada's having. And his careers get against John Lackey almost 400. Every single pitch, every single defensive moment, huge. Gary Matthews took a run away from New York in the top of the 6th inning with a marvelous catch with A-Rod at second base. Looked like Matsui might have a double. Instead, Gary got a great jump and raced it down. He made a leaping catch, running catch near the warning track in center field. Posada doesn't bite at the changeup that filters away, and the count goes to 2-1. Lackey's only walked 2 batters in the game, and both times it was the hot hitting Alex Rodriguez. Three and 1. A-Rod walked with 1 out in the 4th inning. Matsui flied out to left field. Posada then singled, and then Cano reached on an infield play, a high chopper that Lackey ran down. Looked like he had to throw if he made it accurately to get Cano at first base, but threw it over his head, and Rodriguez scored. So John gets right back in the count, a 3-2. Now let's see how he deals with Jeff Mathis here. John says yes to the fastball in, and there's a ground ball hit to Rob Quinlan, and it is foul, and they'll try it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And Jorge will have to try another piece of lumber.
Well, you think catchers would wear down with so much work. This guy has never been on the disabled list, Rex, and he has at least 120 games caught each of the last 7 years. That's staying in shape, but you also have to have the great dynamics of your family genes, because his history of success is outstanding. Jason Kendall, since 2000, 1,107 games, and he catches about 140 to 145 every year. Posada, then Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, most games started at catcher the last 7 seasons. From 2000 to 06, Jason Kendall's ahead of him with 900.
There is a leadoff walk to Jorge Posada.
Yeah, just Kendall's ahead of Posada in games caught.
Time for our Chevy scoreboard. Minnesota beats Seattle 8-4. Miguel Batista, starting pitcher for the M's, gave up 8 runs in just 2 innings. Michael Kadire hit a grand slam off of him. And Boston lost to Tampa Bay 2-1. So right now the Angels with a 2.5 game lead. The Yankees 5.5 games back, and 2 back of Seattle in the wild card with a chance to gain ground. It's that guy again, Robinson Cano, up the middle, past Kendrick into center field. Posada around second base and will make it to third, and it's a 1st and 3rd situation with nobody out in the 7th inning.
Ball was up, elevated a little bit. Posada is going to go to third base. Angels 1st and 3rd, waiting for a big hit.
So the go-ahead run is at third base with nobody out. The Angels have turned 2 double plays tonight. Bedamit, though, has struck out twice against John Lackey. The only thing better than a strikeout right here for John would be a comebacker right to him. We could hold the runner and maybe get the double play.
Hey, those fastballs that John's putting up in the zone and away just a little bit are extremely effective. Okay, it looks good to the hitter, but the best they can do with that is to foul it off. So he's been able to get some big strikes working on that outside corner, which was one of his keys for success tonight against the Yankees. He hasn't pitched inside a whole lot, although he has 11 hit batters this year. Leads the Angels staff. Haven't seen him back off a lot of hitters.
And that is whistled to right field. Vladimir will make the catch. Posada cannot go, and the runners must hold on the throw by Guerrero.
Wow. Another sinking liner judged perfectly by Big Daddy, but Mathis, he did a heck of a job stopping that ball thrown by Big Daddy. He just put his body in front of that. When you have all that padding there and that chest protector, you got to know how to use it, and Mathis does. Lackey was backing up, but Vladdy unleashed some kind of frozen rope home here. Watch Mathis. See how he uses chest protector? The ball, look at it, perfect form. Hit right off his chest protector. Ball goes nowhere. Perfect. That ball kicks away from him. Posada could come home.
Now Lackey wants the double play. The Angels defense has turned two behind him tonight. Cano does not run that often at first base. He has average speed. He's stolen 3 bases. He's been caught 4 times.
Big John this year has allowed 14 stolen bases, and they've caught 5 of them.
You're talking about the Yankees saying the Angels with a great game plan, the ability to execute pitch after pitch. Lackey just barely missed low and in to Melky Cabrera. He solved Melky twice. Once when he tried to bunt his way on and Mathis threw him out. The other time he popped up to first baseman Rob Quinlan. Swung at a bad pitch in the dirt. Mathis pounces all over it to keep the runners at first and third.
Hey, he's a young catcher, but you can really tell as quick as he is with his footwork. Watch him. He's all over this. Look at him get to his feet quickly, takes his mask off, and he's on it before Cano can even think about going to second. This kid's really looks sharp behind the plate.
Hit sharply into right field. That will score Posada. And New York goes in front 2-1.
Hey, Yankees looking for a big hit. They got it right here. Breaking ball down, but over the middle of the plate. Melky looks like he followed it the whole way. Look at Exmo showing the snap on that breaking ball by Lackey right over the middle of the plate. Melky lines it cleanly.
Well, that tells you what kind of hitter he is going to be. He's just 22 years old. Johnny Damon goes towards left field. Reggie Willits is there, makes the catch, brings it to third, and the runners must hold at first and second base. When the Angels bat in the bottom of the 7th inning, they'll have Howie Kendrick, Gary Matthews, and Maestas Torres. Scott Shields starting to warm up. Did not pitch on Monday. The Angels held him back to work on his mechanics with pitching coach Mike Butcher. And he'll likely be coming in for the 8th inning if John can get Derek Jeter out. The next pitch will be John's 100th of the evening. Man, he has battled the Yankees this year. First meeting May 27th. He won the game 4-3, allowed just 2 runs in 8 innings. July 7th, brilliant performance against Roger Clemens. Allowed 1 run in 8 innings. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 11. Angels won it in 13 innings, 2-1. Jeter is 0 for 3. Strike 1.
Matthews had Jeter played just perfectly earlier in the game when there was a runner in scoring position. He's in that same spot.
Tried to come inside, missed, but did miss low.
We talk about the inside out hitting ability of Jeter. So you see Up at the top of your screen is Matthews. He's on that right field side.
He's been so clutch in these situations this year. Runners in scoring position with 2 out. And you talked about that Angel defense with Damon at second base in the 3rd inning. He hit the ball sharply, but Matthews had him play perfectly and ran it down in right center field. Again blocked nicely by Jeff. No advance. Cano at second. Cabrera at first.
See John, he's focusing pitch to pitch, taking a little bit more time now on Jeter, knowing this 2-out situation could be really big for him. If he can get him out.
Line to right field. They're going to send Robinson Cano. The throw by Vladimir Guerrero. Not in time. Throw to second base. Jeter's out. But New York scores 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning to open up a 3-1 lead on the Angels. Brought to you by your Southern California Chevy dealer. Visit SoCalChevy.com today. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler with you. Another sold-out Angel Stadium. And fans, pennant fevers in the air at the Big A, and groups of 25 or more can save up to 40% off ticket office prices on select game dates as the Angels make a push for the playoffs. So go on in, tell your boss, hey, we need to take the whole office to the Angels game. It's a great deal. You'll get a raise, and group cap night or one of the other Angels exciting group packages is available at 888-796-HALO. Ask for a group sales account executive for more information.
You think they'll get a raise?
Absolutely. You can save your company 40% on tickets. Get it done. Get her done.
All right, that's what Socha's hoping Howie Kinder can do here. Get something happening here in this inning. Get a couple runs back.
Nobody's on this time for Howie. He is hit into 2 double plays, hitting the ball sharply but right at fielders.
And Pettit's pitch counts a beautiful 84 pitches thrown.
Starting the 7th inning, since the All-Star break, he has thrown as many as 117 pitches in a game.
Man, I'm hoping that we get a chance to see Jabba Chamberlain. This kid's supposed to be an excellent young pitcher, and they're using him out of the bullpen, but they may not tonight. Pettit could just carry it to Mariano if it stays like it is.
New York needs to win. I'm staying with the experience. That's it sharply. Cano has it, bobbles it now, and Kendrick is safe. That's a good start for the bottom of the 7th inning for the Angels.
All right, that ball's hit hard. But Cano, if he can pull it out of his glove cleanly, he's going to throw him out. Transfer from glove to hand, a little sloppy, and like the first two games, that's the word to describe his defense, has been sloppy. See if the Angels can capitalize.
Gary Matthews goes after the first pitch, lifts it in the air right side, and Bobby Abreu makes the catch. Kendrick back to first base. So Matthews 0 for 3 tonight. Angels need his offense. Headed to face Meiser as Turris. Meiser is 1 for 2 in the game, struck out looking in the third and singled in the fifth. He's raised his batting average to .268.
I can tell from up here watching Pettit's move. I can see when he's going over, but you can't at first base.
What do you notice? I
notice his front leg. His front leg is angling towards first base from here. But I'm right behind the screen. Up. First base runner can't see that. And see, he's going to bring his knee a little bit higher all the way up to his waist when he comes home. Little things like that you pick up. You see how high that leg kick comes up all the way to his chin? He's going home. He won't bring it up as high when he goes over.
So was he bringing it up about level to the waist when he's going to first base?
Yeah, he'll go right under his letters here when he's going over to first base. He'll go to his chin when he's going home.
You know, the rule says you're not allowed to deceive the base runner, but his move is deceiving the base runner.
Hey, that wording is deceiving.
A chopper to Betemit. He has no play at second base. Pettit covering, gets the out, and then turns and looks to make sure Kendrick doesn't advance.
Woo, man, tie doesn't go to the runner there. That looked like it was a dead tie. Okay, watch him barehand this ball. Pettit. Nope, wasn't a dead tie. Replay shows it, got him.
And then watch Dan Iasonia try and punch Pettit as he goes by.
he had to pull up with that hook.
It's kind of a funny move when you looked at it. The one replay, it looked like Iasonia was going to punch Pettit in the face. He was just calling the runner out. So Andy has to face the right-handed swinging Rob Quinlan, a career .308 hitter against left-handers. And Quinlan coming into the game was 4 for 6 in his career against the Yankees left-hander. But Rob dropped a beautiful bunt his first time up, and Posada erased him on a great play, and then he flied out to right field. So Quinlan 0 for 2. Ball 1. That cut fastball he throws was taught to him by Billy Connors. Been with the Yankees for a long time, both in the minor league and in the big leagues. Two balls and no strikes. We got young Jeff Mathis waiting on deck, so Pettit might be saying, even though I put the tying run on, he may say, I'm not going to give Rob Quinlan any pitch down the middle. He wants to get himself out.
Defensively in the outfield and in the infield, they're playing him straight up, and that's the best position for Quinlan because he's going to go line to line. He gets a lot of base hits down that right field line.
Again, Rob takes. It's a 3-0 count. Mike Scioscia did call up from the minor leagues today. Brandon Wood sent out Marcus Gwynn.
Give him a green light. What the heck? It's getting late.
3-1.
All right, now make him do it again. It's a good little cutter in there. Looks like a slider, but that's called a cut fastball.
Bouncing ball right to Robinson Cano. Throws out Rob Quinlan. The Angels threaten but do not score in the seventh. 3-1 Yankees going to the eighth. Yankees with a 3-1 lead over the Angels. The Angels with 1 run, 5 hits after last night getting 18 runs on 17 hits. Pettit has been absolutely dominating, but the Angels 6-2 versus the Yankees this year. They have clinched the season series. The Angels cannot lose any ground in the American League West because Seattle lost today 8-4 to Minnesota. And the Angels with 14 of the next 17 games at the Big A. Seattle has 14 of their next 17 on the road. Their only 3 home games will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week when they host the Angels. That should be a great series. Bobby Abreu skies one center field. Gary Matthews at the wall. It's gone.
And Abreu, he got all of this one. The ball was hit high, but that's a good swing. Mathis clapped his glove. He knew it. Watch Mathis. He's going to say, rats. He got that one. You can tell by the sound when you're down there. Matthews ran out of room.
So John Lackey's evening is over. He goes 7+ innings, gives up 4 runs.
Bottom of the 8th. Excuse me. Top of the 8th.
Time for a burger, though. An in-and-out burger. John Lackey out. Scott Shields is who is in. And he's facing Alex Rodriguez. Post break for Scott Shields. It's been a tough time. 8.56 ERA and 10.29 in 8 games this month. Before the break, he was absolutely outstanding. Had put together a streak where he did not allow a run in 19 straight games. And Mike Butcher said to Mike Scioscia, we need to get him on the side and change the mechanics. And they worked with Scott on Monday and did not allow him to pitch in that game.
They worked on reaching out and finishing his pitches, getting some extension on the end. He's not finishing his pitches.
Facing one of the most dangerous hitters in the game, and Alex Rodriguez. Walked twice. A-Rod takes a strike, and that's where Scott usually finds success. Outside corner at the knees and about 92 miles an hour.
Occasionally he'll drop down and try to throw a two-seamer. Alter his arm angle. Let's see. Ooh. Not that time.
So a leadoff home run by Bobby Abreu. Now Shields comes on, walks his first man. And Scott has had considerable success against these New York Yankees. In his career, he has a 2-1 record and a 2.21 earned run average. He's had terrific games, holding leads for the Angels, both here at the Big A and at Yankee Stadium. He was part of the domination earlier this year in New York, where the Angels swept the series in late May. Shields had 2 holds in that series. Jabba Chamberlain warming up in the Yankee bullpen. He can't be any better than Andy Pettit's been.
Bring him in. Get Pettit out of there.
Well, that's what I'd like to see.
Well, best way to get him out of there is to bust him, get a few hits on him. But he's been very stingy. Good location for Pettit tonight.
Hideki Matsui now up. He is singled, flied out, and been robbed of a double on a wonderful catch by Gary Matthews. Ripped down the line. A-Rod around second base, hustling to third. Larry Bowa will hold him there, and the Yankees have runners on second and third with nobody out and trying to bust this game wide open.
Shields continuing to struggle, walking the double.
And the red-hot Jorge Posada comes up. On base all 3 times. A solid single to center field, a line single to left, and a walk and a run scored in that 2-run 7th inning. The Yankees have scored 1 so far in the 8th. And really, this is a great time for Scott. The Angels are trailing 4-1. Not the fact that he's put 2 guys on, but that the pressure is off. He can go out and execute his pitches, forget about what just took place, make your pitches and get guys out, even if he gives up a couple of runs here.
We've seen Scott Shields over the years struggle a little bit in the second half, so he's just in a little mental slump as well.
Popped up, foul territory, and that will get out of play.
What makes Shields effective, as does most pitchers, is strike 1 and strike 2. When you get ahead, then you can finish guys off. But when you're falling behind 0-2, then you're trying to fight back in the strike zone. The hitter knows what's coming. Shields pretty much a 2-seam fastball guy anyway. Fastball, curveball are his pitches. Great movement when he's on.
2-1. A-Rod walked. Matsui doubled. A 2-1 count to Jorge Posada. It's a great pitch right there. A lot of movement on it. Almost looked like it was going to hit Posada in the elbow, then zip back into the strike zone. But right now, Scott's ability to repeat pitches has been part of the inconsistency.
You know, also his shoulder, he has issues when his left shoulder flies open a little.
Throws the same pitch again and barely misses. I thought he'd get that call from Paul Emmel.
Usually does.
And I think you can see by the look Scott gave Emmel that, hey, buddy, that's a strike. I know they're the New York Yankees, and they get calls, but we need to get them too. Coming back inside, and that's a fair ball down the left field line. 2 runs will score. Posada with the double. Reggie with a late throw to second base after it took too long, looking home. And it is now a 6-1 New York lead.
Okay, the luck is just not with Scott Shields right now. That ball was a good pitch. Posada jammed him, and he just fought it off. Look at that, right over the base. Wouldn't you know it, the way Shields has been going? I mean, just spinning sideways over the base.
Yeah, I think he'll be pleased when he looks at the videotape of that, because that was a quality pitch. 2-3 exactly where he wanted to. Just a great at bat by Posada.
It's just the funny thing about this game, you know, it just everything comes in bunches.
Well, they're coming in bunches in this inning, as the Angels have not been able to record an out, and New York scored 3 times. The leadoff home run by Abreu, a walk to A-Rod, and then back-to-back doubles by Matsui and Posada.
Well, they certainly came in bunches in that first game in the doubleheader against Texas and Baltimore, huh?
Yeah, Texas only scored 30 runs tonight. 30 runs by the Rangers, and that is the most in Major League Baseball since 1900. The Rangers, Rex, had a 5-0 lead. Sorry, it was a 5-3 ball game going to the 6th inning. They only led by 2 runs. Then they scored 9 runs in the 6th, didn't score in the 7th, then scored 10 in the 8th and 6 in the 9th for a 30-3 victory.
$110 years is a long time.
Yeah, it was 1897 that the Chicago Cubs had 36 runs in one game, and that is the Major League record. Popped him up left side, long run. Reggie Willits, he gets there, bangs against the wall. Heck of a play by Reggie.
And I didn't think there's any way he's going to catch that. Great effort. It's going full speed. Got to slow down in 2-3 choppy steps. Ball was coming back. Nice athletic adjustment.
There's some really good races in both leagues now, as Shields will now come out of the game, and the Angels will bring in Chris Buchek. On FSN West or experience what it's like to be at the ballpark on FSN Prime Ticket. Dugout View presented by your Southern California Chevy dealers tomorrow at 7 o'clock on FSN Prime Ticket. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, that's the view you'll see tomorrow night, or you can see the way it is done tonight with a shot like that, not from the dugout.
It's okay.
That's the greatest camera shot in sports. You get to see the pitcher, the catcher, and the hitter, and the break of the ball, and the catcher giving the signs.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
That's okay. That's your opinion. I like that Exmo shot from the back of the plate.
I can't remember when they brought that in, the center field camera shot, but it really completely changed televised baseball.
Well, you can see everything. I'll show you my shot.
You like that shot?
Only not exact angle. If they'll zoom in a little bit and give me the tight rotation on that ball, I'd like to see that.
It looks like you're pulling your hairnet down over your eyes.
Thank you for pulling it in. Look at him. See, he's giving me the pitcher shot. This is what the hitter looks like. This is what he looks at. Sees that guy up there on that bump?
I get to see all three in this one.
That's okay. They still haven't shown me my shot, but they will. We've seen it plenty of time. That Exmo camera shot is one of the best innovative technological inventions in a long time.
Best live shot, center field.
I like the replay shots. All right, I'll just change it to that.
Wilson Betemit. We're talking about the great races going around in the American League. Cleveland had a half-game lead on Detroit, and they were playing tonight, and what a game they had in Detroit, where the Tribe beat the Tigers 11-8. Terrific ball game. So Cleveland holds on to that lead in the American League Central and pushes it now to a game and a half. Both the Tigers and Indians had been struggling going into that game. Cleveland had won just 4 of their last 10, and Detroit had split the last 10.
All right.
And there's your shot,
all right,
Rex.
here it is. Looking at that pitcher, seeing the exact rotation of that ball coming in there, slow motion. That's a beautiful thing.
Chris Buchek, the new pitcher for the Angels, facing Wilson Betemit, man at second base. New York is opening a 5-run lead, and Betemit skies it in the air, right side. Vladimir Guerrero setting up for the throw to third base, and he airs it out. Posada makes it all the way in.
Vladdy's been making a lot of throws out there in that outfield in this game. I mean, he just, he doesn't just lob them in either. He gives everything on every throw.
Melky Cabrera with 2 out. Ground ball in the hole, and that's a base hit, and it is now a 7-1 New York lead. Well, the last 2 innings really got to the Angels. John Lackey gave up 2 in the 7th, and New York has scored 4 more times in the 8th inning. It was a 1-1 ball game going to the 7th. The big hits in the 7th by Cabrera and also by Derek Jeter, and now a home run by Abreu, a 2-run double by Posada, a single by Melky Cabrera, and they're busting this game wide open. Johnny Damon, the batter. In the National League, Arizona has the lead in the National League West. And the Diamondbacks tonight won their game over Milwaukee 3-2. Milwaukee started the night tied with the Cubs for first place in the National League Central. And the Cubs are tied with San Francisco 2-2, bottom of the 9th inning up in the Bay Area. Milwaukee, who had been struggling so much lately, had won 2 in a row, but they lose by 1 tonight. And Arizona holds their 3.5 game lead over San Diego. Padres won over the Mets today 7-5, so the Pods remain within 3.5 of Arizona. Colorado and the Dodgers 6 back. Dodgers won big over Philadelphia 15-3. Colorado lost to Pittsburgh badly, 11-2. Damon works the walk, and that will move Cabrera into scoring position at second base. Mike Scioscia, he's glad he got the first two. The Angels won on Monday 7-6 in 10 innings, and then pounded Joe Torre's ball club 18-9, the most runs ever scored versus the Yankees by the Angels. 18 runs, and they have just one tonight against a guy dominating them, Andy Pettitte.
So if Joe Torre's Yankees win this game, Joe Torre will surpass the great Casey Stengel for second place on the all-time managerial list for the Yankees.
Well, that list, they've got plenty, but Joe McCarthy has more than any other Yankee manager, 1,460. But now it's Joe trying to move past Casey with 1,150. I mean, this is an organization with 26 world championships. Stengel won 7, McCarthy won 7, and Joe Torre's won 4.
Pretty impressive.
Miller Huggins, who had that very unhappy relationship with Babe Ruth, he won 3. Ruth couldn't stand him, and Huggins couldn't stand Ruth, and yet their monuments are side by side up beyond the outfield wall at Yankee Stadium. Out of play.
All the numbers that the Yankees have retired is amazing. Almost all their single digits are gone. Jeter, number 2, that'll be in. Joe Torre's number 6 could be in.
And all single digits will be gone.
And they'll be done with a single digit, so hang with them.
Number 1 was Billy Martin. Number 2 is Derek Jeter. Babe Ruth was number 3. And the Yankees were the first team to put numbers on the uniform, and it was according to their batting order. They're the numbers that have been retired, but in the 1920s when they did that, Babe Ruth hit 3rd. Lou Gehrig hit 4th. And on down it went. And then that would change later when, you know, lineups moved around. Joe DiMaggio came up in the 30s, and he took number 5, and Mickey Mantle came up in the 50s. Foul back.
Well, you wonder if they'll retire number 51, Bernie Williams.
That's true. But here, isn't it interesting? They would give Derek Jeter the number 2. They must have known something when they drafted him in the first round out of Kalamazoo, out of high school. And when he made it to the big club, they gave him the number 2. And in his rookie year, he would help the Yankees win a world championship.
Okay, and they must have known something when they drafted me in the first round back in '78. They gave me number 56. They knew something there. This guy was never going to be a great Yankee. Hang with him. Tony Peña's wearing my number now. First base coach.
Well, after Derek Jeter had won 3 world championships, he said, Yogi Berra passed by me, and he said, young man, you got a long way to go. I got 10 rings. And Buchek strikes out Derek Jeter, future Hall of Famer. But the Yankees with a 4 spot of the Angels in the 8th. Pack presented by OCJobfinder.com/monster. The family fun pack includes 4 game tickets, 4 Farmer John hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks, all for just $39. And the next family fun pack game is this Sunday, August 26th, as the Angels take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Tickets for this game can be purchased at angelsbaseball.com. Another sold out stadium, 44,000 on hand. The Yankees leading, and we'll get our first look at Jabba Chamberlain, a 6'2", 230-pounder who can really bring it. You can see what he's done. 7 innings, no runs, and only 2 hits allowed.
Well, they knew something when they traded Proctor. They're going to bring this kid up who's a starter. He'll be in that Yankee rotation most likely next season. But he's got a good 99-mile-an-hour fastball. The Angel batters will have to tune it up a little bit. A slurvy slider. That's got a little bit of break, good solid depth to it. And this guy goes right after people. And he's got good command with that slider. He's got an occasional changeup, but he won't use that a whole lot out of the bullpen.
Well, he's not allowed to run in his first 5 major league appearances, striking out 11 in 7 innings. He will face here in the bottom of the 8th inning Jeff Mathis, Reggie Willits, and Orlando Cabrera. Well, just about every single hitter in the big leagues loves to hit a fastball. This guy has an overpowering one. Sparky Anderson had a line, Rex, about hard fastball, guys loving fastball, and he goes, I love ice cream too, but I don't like a gallon of it.
That's right. Well, that's what they're going to get. You can just see how strong the lower body of this kid is, and that's where power pitchers generate their power. Usually very strong, unless you have that skinny whip-like action like Pedro Martinez did when he was a youngster, very thin. He's got a little Roger Clemens in him as far as that power bottom half goes.
And then there's the slider at 86 miles an hour, and that is 12 strikeouts in 7 1/3 innings this year. So Jabba Chamberlain will now face Reggie Willits, and Reggie's had a tough time in this series. Now 1 for 27 against the New York Yankees, but he's also struck out 10 times in his last 4 games, so he's fighting through some tough times, and he has been a major reason for the Angels' success. His job as a leadoff batter earlier this year, and then moving to the number 9 spot when Sean Figgins took off. Well, Figgins is day to day because of his left wrist problem, and Willits is struggling. Chamberlain falls behind 2-0.
This kid Chamberlain is a Native American, a member of the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska. Where's that hat down low? Hitters can't see his eyes.
And he took up playing baseball in high school and went to the University of Nebraska at Kearney, and then transferred to Lincoln, where he played college baseball with Alex Gordon, who was the first overall pick by the Kansas City Royals. Really exploded with the Yankees. And there's that base hit up the middle for Reggie Willits. And that's good to see.
This is a little slap type action. You don't have to do a whole lot when you're facing a guy that throws harder. You just want to put a nice easy swing on it. You don't want to swing harder because he throws harder, or you won't make any contact.
He's now facing Orlando Cabrera, who's responsible for the only run of the ball game for the Angels. Solo home run that tied it up in the 6th inning. We had a masterpiece going between Lackey and Andy Pettit, but then New York scored 2 in the 7th and 4 in the 8th to bust it open.
You know they like him when they've already talked about him being in the rotation next year.
Yeah, that's saying a lot because New York has never been an organization that has gone with young pitchers. And if you're talking about Phil Hughes and Chamberlain, 2 rookies joining the rotation next year, that, I mean, really shows a 180 from the way New York did it in the past. What they used to do is let other teams develop their pitchers and then obviously acquire them through free agency or trade for them.
That's right. And that's, you know,
a la Mussina, Clemens, so many others.
Right. That was their pattern back in the mid to late 80s. They had a bunch of good players in the minors, and George would trade them for the already established talent.
And that will allow Willits to get to second base. I'm not sure if Posada was crossed up.
That'll be a pass ball on Posada.
Right now, the Yankees organization going with a certain situation when a guy is in his first pro year, first full pro season. If he pitches 1 inning tonight, then he gets 1 day off. If he pitches 2 innings tonight, then he automatically gets 2 days off. Protect this kid's great arm, and he throws the slider to Cabrera and strikes him out.
Yep. See, that's an extremely effective pitch after you're throwing in the upper 90s. We're going to show this kid on our X mode for the first time. Let's check him out. Gets on top. You see the little dot. Cabrera missed it by a mile. Good pitch.
Now Vladimir Guerrero, and he swings at a first pitch slider, strike 1. But the real challenge for Chamberlain, Rex, right now he is a setup role guy, and he's never done that in the past. The real challenge is going to be next week when they have that series with the Boston Red Sox, 3 games, and then also 3 games at Boston in September.
But they can't overlook Detroit.
No, you're right.
They got an off day tomorrow, the Yankees do, and they're going to Detroit for 4.
But they're chasing the Red Sox. And you know what that experience is like when Boston and New York get together, and Chamberlain must pitch in that kind of environment at Fenway Park in the big games with runners on base in a tight ball game. He has Guerrero down 0-2. Slider struck him out. Chamberlain shakes his fist as he gets the great Guerrero and strikes out 3 in the 8th inning. Yankees lead the Angels. We head to the 9th inning at the Big A, the best damn sports show period. As a terrific show. It has Chris Rose, John Sally, Rob Dibble, and Rodney Peete. And it comes your way tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And they're going to have that swimsuit pageant again. That's great sports tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Top of the 9th inning. Yankees sent 9 men to the plate in the 8th and scored 4 times. Bobby Abreu takes strike 1. Lackey worked well. Gave up 4 runs. Scott Shields came on for the 8th inning and gave up 3 runs. Got just 1 out. This was his first effort after working with Mike Butcher in the bullpen. Buchek came on with a fly ball to Betamete, and then a single that scored a run that was charged to Shields in that 8th inning. But getting Scott straightened out so important to the Angels' success, because their ability to shorten games has been so important in their success ever since Bill Stoneman and Mike Scioscia joined the club in 2000. Getting the pitching there and shutting the door in innings 7, 8, 9.
You know, every player, whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, are going to have your slump moments, and Shields is in one of those right now. I mean, doesn't have much luck either.
That's up the middle. Cabrera reaches it, quick toss, and safe at first base is Bobby Abreu.
That's a leg hit. Buchek slowed it down a little bit. Cabrera on his high horse over the middle. Comes up off balance, but Abreu runs very well. Got it. Base hit.
So we will see Alex Rodriguez for the final time this year. He's walked 3 times tonight, scored 2 runs. He banged 3 home runs in the first 2 games of the series. Hit a 9th inning blast last night, and he swings to the first offering, a slider from Chris Buchek for strike 1. .307 average, and obviously because of the 75 walks this year, an on-base percentage well over 400. Angels, though, regardless of the outcome tonight, will win another season series from New York. They came into this game 6 victories to just 2 for New York, and both came in that series at Yankee Stadium in July. In there, 1-2. Again, the Halos win the 9th season series over New York since 1995. The Yankees have only won 3 series since '95, and Mike Scioscia has been a big reason why for the success in his tenure. In there, strike 3 called. Buchek knifing a fastball on the outside corner at the knees for strike 3.
Buchek, he pulled out his best pitches for the best player, and he executed. Nice slider, a couple fastballs at 94 on the corner. A-Rod's got to go.
So Chris with 2 strikeouts in the game. And the batter will be Hideki Matsui. 2 for 4, easily could be 3 for 4, but Gary Matthews made a fine running catch in center field to rob him of a hit and take a run away from New York back in inning number 6. Strike in there. New York had won 15 of 20 before coming to the Big A. Lost the first 2 games, 1 in 10 innings, and getting rolled last night 18-9.
Hey, Buchek, man, he's looking good now. I'd give up that little infield single to Abreu, and he's executing, getting ahead, going right after guys.
Hideki Matsui to center field. Abreu's off for third base. He will make it. And Matthews brings the throw to second. So it's first and third for New York with one down in the ninth inning. And Matsui has 3 hits in the game. By the way, Rex, Brandon Webb is going for Earl Hershiser's consecutive scoreless streak. He had 42 consecutive scoreless innings, and it was a race tonight in the first inning. Knocked off. Streak is over. Allowed a run in the first inning to the Milwaukee Brewers. He needed 17 more innings to catch the great Hershiser. But it's the 5th longest in Major League history since 1940. Still, his team won 3-2. Jorge Posada, he has worn out the Angels in this series, even though New York has not won a game. Posada tonight is 3 for 3 with a walk, on base 4 times. On Monday, Posada had a fine game where he belted a 2-run home run. Brandon Webb gave up 2 runs in that 3-2 victory and got the victory for Arizona as they hold on to the lead in the National League West. That ball popped up right side. Vlad Guerrero and Howie Kendrick. It is Kendrick calling everybody up to make the catch. And Abreu tags but does not go. Robinson Cano. He had a big hit back in the 7th inning, a line single after Posada had walked to start the 7th off John Lackey. Then Bettamy lined out in a 1-1 ball game. Melky Cabrera sent a single to the right side, and that broke the 1-1 tie and gave them the lead. And there's another smash off the glove of Howie Kendrick. That's a base hit, and Abreu scores to make it 8-1 Yankees.
Buchek was cruising along. That 0-2 base hit he gave up to Matsui kind of set him back some. Howie Kendrick, nice try. Looked like he overextended, might have hit him in the heel of his glove, but nice effort.
Fastball misses outside. Another great crowd tonight, 44,326, so over 130,000 have watched this series between the Yankees and the Angels. We had a great show tonight for 6 innings, a tremendous pitching duel between John Lackey and Andy Pettitte. They were locked up. New York had a 1-0 lead after the 4th. It held that way until the 6th inning when Orlando Cabrera hit a solo home run to tie it. But in the 7th inning, New York scored 2 runs and then 4 in the 8th and 1 so far in the 9th. Left field, Reggie Willits makes the catch. Bottom of the 9th we go. Garrett Anderson will start things for the Angels. It's Angels baseball brought to you by Jack's new sirloin steak and egg burrito, only at Jack in the Box, where breakfast is served all day. By Rico Corp. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. And by Southern California Ford, not just miles per gallon, but more fun per gallon. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler with you. 44,326 tonight at the Big A, and they have not enjoyed this one. 8-1 Yankees have the lead as they have hammered the Angels in the last 3 innings. Angels live after the game. Jose Mota and Michael Eaves will have interviews from both dugouts, and Bill McDonald and Mark Gubicza with analysis. Kennedy's confidential. Confidentially yours. There they are, the leaders of the pack. Looked like Gubicza wore his Philly Mafia outfit tonight. What do you think, Rex?
Hey, he's a sharp-dressed Philly guy. What do you want? Look at a silver tie. He's a class-looking guy. Billy Mack? Hey, look, come on. Billy, you're not taking second seat to him. I know you got the same color suits on, but way to go, guys. Way to style up for us.
Yo, Gooby, how about them Eagles? Here we go. Bottom of the ninth. Mariano Rivera is in. Juan Rivera was thinking about, because I was reading about his assignment in Salt Lake City. He is running better, we are told. Went 2 for 4 yesterday. That's a good sign, as the Angels hope to get Juan back before the season ends. Mariano Rivera, one of the great closers in the history of the game, to face Garrett Anderson. Rivera has 433 career saves for sole possession of 3rd place on baseball's all-time list. They are tops in the American League. And I know Trevor Hoffman has over 500, Rex, but this guy could arguably be the best closer of all time.
Well, you know, he pitches for the Yankees. He's got 4 World Series titles. You know, that weighs heavily. Postseason numbers are off the chart.
There you go. 34 saves in the postseason and an 0.08 earned run average. As the saying goes, he's as cool as the other side of the pillow. Anderson takes outside.
Mariano, he'll rely on that cut fastball. Anderson, quick bat inside.
Anderson tonight on base twice with a single and a walk. He had that tremendous game last night with 10 RBIs, an Angels record, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, including his 8th grand slam, which is also a new Angels best. And a swing and a miss, and Rivera strikes out Anderson. Still, the Yankees had come in so hot, Rex. They had won 11 of their previous 13 series, and the Angels will take this one 2 victories to 1.
No, I think they slowed the Yankees down a little bit. The Yankees always have a tough time against these halos, especially in this yard.
Angels will take on Toronto the next 4 games. They've always been a tough test. Howie Kendrick. Kendrick was given a base hit on that play up the middle that Robinson Cano got to, and if he handles cleanly would have easily thrown Kendrick out by about 10 feet. But he bobbled it. Then in the exchange from glove to hand, bobbled it into center field, and Howie was given a base hit.
It's not going to be any easier for the Angels. Toronto's they're bringing their arms with them. They got Jesse Litch. He's going first. Now he's a guy that's 4-6, but they got Holiday, Markham, and McGowan, the same guys they faced in Toronto that gave the Angels a real tough time.
Yeah, those 2 young pitchers, McGowan and Markham, really have good arms. I mean, Sean Markham is throwing 96, 97 miles an hour. There's a chopper over the head of A-Rod, and that's the 2nd hit of the night for Howie Kendrick.
Angels will counter with Irvin Santana, Jared Weaver, Joe Saunders, and Kelvin Escobar.
And then they'll start that Seattle series with John Lackey. So Seattle will miss Kelvin Escobar as the Angels travel to Seattle after the Toronto series for a 3-game set up at Safeco. Gary Matthews 0 for 3 in the game, a pair of groundouts and a pop up to right. Still the Angels 12-8 in August. They have been remarkably consistent the last 2 years. Their last losing month, Rex, was a year ago in June. Even July, that was kind of rugged. They finished 12-12. That's a high chopper on the infield. Matthews is safe at first base, and Gary has an infield hit, so the Angels will keep the pressure on. Well, this one's going to be a tough comeback for the Halos, but they do have 30 this year and 12 in their last 23 games. And Gary, well, I can tell you what, Rex, I'm just wondering if he tweaked that left knee again, racing down the first base line.
Well, it's tender. You know, we're in the dog days. Every guy out here has got some kind of issue. Matthews, for him, has been his knees, been a little bit sore, but he smelt that base hit off the plate and got him a knock. He had to work for it.
Meiser is Turris up. He takes low ball 1. Turris tonight 1 for 3. That was a single back in the 5th inning. A little bit low. Good eye by Meiser is Turris. 2 balls and no strikes.
See, Mariano, you know, he doesn't have his 96-mile-an-hour fastball anymore, but he's extremely effective at 93, occasional 94.
In there, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Mariano will be a free agent at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, that is a question mark for the New York Yankees. How many years would you give him? How much time would you give Rivera, who's been one of the game's great closers? Would they go in a different direction? They let Bernie Williams go, who's a marvelous talent, and he decided to retire.
Those are tough decisions for organizations when guys have been there the whole career.
Base hit right field. Howie Kendrick will be sent home. The throw by Bobby Abreu cut off, and I thought it was in line to make it a close play. But as Turris comes through with an RBI single, his 36th this year, and it's an 8-2 ball game.
Yeah, would have been a close play at the plate. Betemit, not a whole lot of experience playing first base. He cut it. Turris is going to find a hole on that right side. For Turris, that's his 36 run batted in, and Kochman's going to get another chance off the bench to pinch hit.
Rob Quinlan got the start because the lefty Pettit was dealing. So Casey Kochman given the day off, and he needs some rest the way he's been playing lately and just playing very strong baseball. .301 batting average, has not homered since the beginning of July against the Baltimore Orioles.
Koch has been their best hitter off the bench this year, though, going 4 for 8 with 2 RBIs, a cool .500 average.
Rex, we'd like to say hello to a couple of Angel fans watching this ball game in Maui. Doug and Matthew Freeman, 2 of our best friends. Doug was a longtime director for the Angels, now working with another baseball team in the area.
Good for him.
The Dodgers, and Doug is a great friend. Swing and a miss by Casey Kochman. but he was the first one who came up with the line, walks will kill you.
Doug Freeman's been around as long as the game's been played.
He and Abner Doubleday began it way back in the 1860s. A 1-1 count to Casey Kotchman. Now it's 1-2. Andy Pettitte will get the win tonight if the Yankees hold on. He's won his last 5 starts. If he nails this one down, he went 7 innings, allowed 1 run, struck out 6, and allowed just 5 hits to the Angels. Rivera's been working Kotchman up in the strike zone. Out of play. In on his hands and hit him in the hand. Wow.
Well, that's that hard cut fastball, and he was committing to swing, and man, it looked like it hit him flush. That's just another tough break for Kotchman.
And another tough break for this team. Because the Angels have lost Sean Figgins. He's day to day, and Casey in a lot of pain as they do remove his glove right in that thumb area. Adam Nebula is the Angels trainer who is checking out that left hand. But the Angels cannot afford to lose any more. They already have Eric Ibar, Mike Napoli, and Juan Rivera on the disabled list, and Sean Figgins, one of their leading MVP candidates this year, day to day because of a left wrist problem. Casey's going to stay in, though.
Well, you know, he's got a swing. Mike Scioscia's saying, all right, show me a swing.
Wow. Well, that's a good sign. Adam Neville really checked it out, made sure that they may take some x-rays on this because that cutter came hard and in, Rex.
Oh, man.
I guess it hit the very tip of the thumb.
And if he doesn't swing at that, it hits him right in the gut.
It was moving that far inside, almost like a 6-inch break to that cut fastball. The 1-2. It's still in pain. Yeah,
sure. That shows me a lot. He's staying in there.
We're talking about the dog days, how everybody plays with some kind of hurt. And he has had some crazy injuries in the past, like getting hit in the head earlier this year, a concussion and a throw to second base from Russell Martin. Also got hit in the hand during his minor league career and broke some bones in his hand. Just some very odd injuries.
I tell you, that concussion he suffered really set him back. He was on top of the mountain offensively.
And they strike out Casey here in the 9th inning.
There, you got to give him an A for effort in that pinch hit appearance there.
Again after the ball game, Angels Live with Bill McDonald and Mark Gubicza. Jose Mota, Michael Eaves will be doing the interviews on the field. New York trying to escape. Anaheim with an 8-2 victory. And here is Jeff Mathis, who is 0 for 2, a pair of strikeouts and a walk. You know, they say he has one pitch, basically a cut fastball, but it looks like he's got a sinking fastball, a cut fastball, a straight fastball. He's got a fastball that he can make from 86 miles an hour up to 94.
That's right. You know, he's a veteran guy, knows how to apply the finger pressure to make it move, but mostly hard stuff. And he's going to pitch a little differently when it's not a safe situation. He's getting some work with the off day tomorrow. The Yankees fly to Detroit. Gear up for that 4-game series they're going to have it against those guys.
This should do it. Jeff Mathis to right field. Abreu is there. The Angels win the series, but they lose the final game. A chance for their first sweep at the Big A against New York since 1995. And Andy Pettitte gets the win. He moves his record to 11-7. John Lackey takes the loss. He's now 15-8. Bobby Abreu hit a big home run in the 8th inning. But with the score tied at 1, Joe Torre's team scored 2 runs in the 7th off Lackey, and then 4 more in the 8th inning off Lackey and Shields, and the Angels lose the ball game 8-2. For Joe Torre, he wins game number 1,150, moving past the great Casey Stengel.
Congratulations, Joe. Yankees salvage with a win.
Now the Angels will take on the Toronto Blue Jays for a 4-game series beginning tomorrow night. We hope you fans can be here for that one. The Angels will have night games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then a day game on Sunday afternoon at McDonald's. Family Sunday afternoon game. The Angels now 42-18 at home this year and are 74-52 overall. They do hold a 2-game lead on Seattle because the Mariners lost their game 8-4. Right now, Angels Live begins, and let's go out to Bill McDonald and Mark Gubicza.
Thank you so much, Fizz. While